I have a viewer named Steel Addicted who was interested to see some photos of this knife. And I told him, oh, well, thank you for the idea. I'll take some photos and make a community post. So then I came to it and I thought, well, how am I going to show the new detent system and demonstrate it photographically as well as taking attractive photos of the knife? It's all too much. So I'm just going to make a video for now. Maybe I'll take some photos later as well. But here is the detent. It's not very pretty exactly, but all it is a couple of pieces of welt leather with some super glue and some this kind of medium. It's like a powder that you it's the black one of this. So you just put the powder and then apply super glue, and it makes this whatever, yeah. And so this all stabilized with super glue, and so you can see that, yeah, I just cut out two different shapes, right? The bottom shape fits this around this, and then the top shape fits over it. Just a little nub in there. And it has detent. So like I say, maybe not exactly the prettiest solution, but it is effective, and that pleases me. So that's the look of the sheath covered. Let's take a look at this knife. It's like a proper gander. At this point, the feel of the handle is not entirely smooth. You can feel the striations, the roughness, and that gives it, to my mind, a very pleasant feel, very grippy and reassuring. And here's the fat carbon bolster / finger guard, which really needs a bit of work still. But it's very hard working. It's not easy to work on. I have some diamond files and stuff, but then it requires concentration, because you don't want to be scratching up the blade or running off into the wood there. So the hand-forged blade has some kind of anachronisms. You can see that the swedging is not entirely even, and the apex is pretty straight, but what's going on behind it is still a little lumpy. And so depending on how you look at it, it may line up very nicely with the handle, or it might start giving you the impression that it's not lining up. And both of those assessments would probably be correct. I mean, by my lights, I got it pretty good. Because the blade was not perfect, therefore how can you get it perfectly lined up? There's no perfect reference point, right? But from here, there is still finishing that could be done. Looking at it like that, it looks like maybe you would almost want to take a little off it, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty close. So as I keep working on the blade, later perhaps I'll do some more work on the handle as well. It is very chunky, but I have that's a nigh on 10-inch handspan right there, so a big handle, not a problem for me. And the contouring is like so. It does slim out here at the beak significantly. that you can also see is not entirely symmetrical, but it favors the right-hander. There's a bit more of a curve in here. So what I found is that these areas here, if they're squared off like this, that is uncomfortable, not practicable. And if they jut out too much, that can be problematic as well. But again, if it juts out a lot, but it's rounded out to a point here, that's good until you start digging that point into yourself or whatever. Anyway, this handle, pretty comfortable in all positions. Now the blade came, it's Sanmai, so when it came to me, it had this kind of, I don't know, I guess it's an acid etching or something, but it was this gray that was on this part of the bevel, but not on the hardened steel. So I don't know exactly how they did that, but it's coming off through repeated sharpening, which also reveals, slight inconsistencies. There's a bit of a well here that if I put it on a flat stone, it doesn't get in there. And you can see where I'm trying to bring it in here because there was a bit of a bulge there and there's a bit of a bulge here at the end. So that's my perception, is that it was all pretty straight, and then here behind the edge there's a bit of a rope, and then it kind of reciprocates there. And so maybe the tip ends up a little bit over that side, and then the swedging being off adds to that. But it's a wonderful blade, it's really good, and any of that swedging and what have you can tidy up. Another interesting feature is this: the spine is crowned like this. It's like some of the old parlor guitars. You had this V-neck on them. If you're used to a guitar with a rounded neck, the V-neck, suddenly you're like, whoa, what is this? Feels like it's jamming into you. But similar concept, really, in fact, because with the V-neck on a guitar, instead of holding it like this, you'd be putting your thumb across there onto the flat. And similarly with this, because it's so wide, you grab something to whittle. If I'm carving like this, my thumb is very comfortably sat like there, rather than being on the back there. Because the width of the blade and everything, I guess, I don't know, maybe I haven't figured out quite why it is that works, but I found that I thought it was going to be annoying and that it was going to jam into me. But even if you do put your thumb right there, I mean, it's kind of grippy, actually. But generally, it sits better on that side there. And yeah, I find I can do, to start out, I was like, man, this is too wide to do pull cuts, but I just kind of got used to it. And the tip is also worth a look, It's pretty pointy. Yeah, it is robust. So I think that pretty much covers that. What I want to say about that. And that's that. Thanks for watching.